This tutorial guides you through fully integrating PKI Trust Manager and Intune to issue certificates to users or devices. The PKI Trust Manager's Intune integration service should be used instead of Microsoft Network Device Enrollment Service. You will learn how to navigate the interface and configure necessary certificate templates for successful setup. Let us begin at the issuing certification authority that has been previously integrated with PKI Trust Manager using the CA proxy gateway. We will duplicate the enrollment agent and CEP templates while granting the CA proxy gateway service account read and enroll permissions. In our demo, the duplicated templates are named SkepSign and SkepENC. Let us take a closer look. Right-click on Certificate Templates and then click on Manage. Duplicate the CEP encryption template as well as the enrollment agent template and name them SkepENC and SkepSign respectively. Ensure that the both duplicated templates grant the PKI Trust Manager CA Proxy Gateway Service account read and enroll permissions. Now, over on the PKI Trust Manager web admin, click on Certification Authorities. Click Details to access the certification authority which will be used for SKEP. Click View Templates to see the available certificate templates for configuration. As seen here, we have already published the SkepENC and SkepSign templates on the PKI Trust Manager as well. Proceed by clicking on the New button on the top right while we proceed to show the details of how the new template should be configured. There are three things that need to be configured for SkepENC. First is the name of the template that will be displayed on PKI Trust Manager. Second is the name of the template that we configured on the certification authority called SkepENC. And third is enabling is agent certificate as shown in the screen capture here. Save the template after entering these details. For SkepSign, there are also three things that need to be configured. First is the name of the template that will be displayed on PKI Trust Manager. Second is the name of the template that we configured on the certification authority called SkepSign. And third is enabling is agent certificate as shown in the screen capture here. Once the corresponding enrollment agent and CEP templates have been provisioned, we are ready to integrate PKI Trust Manager with Intune. Head over to the Integrations page and click the New button. In the new integration form, select the appropriate organization. By default, it is the System organization. In the Type drop-down menu, select SKEP for Intune. Once SKEP for Intune is selected from the drop-down, the certificate configuration should automatically populate. If it does not, ensure that the certification authority and its templates are attached to the organization that was selected above. The next four fields require information from an application registered in Azure specifically for PKI Trust Manager and Intune. Head over to Azure and go to App Registration to register an application. Provide a name for the application, and then select accounts on this organization directory only. Copy over the Application Client ID and Directory Tenant ID to PKI Trust Manager SEP4 Intune configuration. Next, on the left navigation bar, click on Certificates and Secret. Click on New Client Secret to provision a new secret. Then subsequently, copy the value of the newly created secret to PKI Trust Manager under Azure Intune App Key field. Finally, we will need to provide the registered app appropriate permissions. Navigate to API Permissions. Then click on Add a Permission. This should open a window with further options. Click on Intune box in this window. Now, click on Application Permissions to proceed. Finally, select SKEP Challenge Provider or SKEP Challenge Validation as shown here. Save the permissions. Let's repeat and add the appropriate Microsoft Graph permissions to this newly registered application. Click on Add a Permission followed by Microsoft Graph as shown here. Then select Application Permission. This will provide list of permissions that can be granted. Expand the application drawer and subsequently select Application Read All. The last step here is to grant admin consent. This is required for the permissions to work correctly. Once admin consent has been granted, you should see the status turn green. This completes the Azure app registration. Next, we will complete the configuration on the PKI Trust Manager. Populate the fields corresponding to the values from Azure application for PKI Trust Manager and Intune integration. Let's validate them. Provide a name for the app. The signing certificate and encryption certificate should be auto-populate. The Azure App ID corresponds to the application ID of the registered Azure app. The Azure Intune app key corresponds to the secret value of the registered Azure app. The Azure Intune tenant ID corresponds to the Azure tenant ID. The Azure Intune provisioning name and version should be set to 2.0. Select a template that will be used to issue certificates through Intune integration. Enter the URL of the PKI Trust Cert API container service. Now that we have validated the configuration, let's save to publish the SCEP4 Intune service and have it enabled. In the next video, we will cover the steps on Intune Admin Console to integrate with PKI Trust Manager platform. Let's complete the setup by setting up Intune side of the configuration. Head over to the Intune Admin Center. Click on Devices from the left navigation bar and then access the devices configuration as shown here. Create a new policy. Choose a platform where you want this configuration applied. You can enroll certificates to any platform support via Intune, including Windows, Android, and iOS. Next, select Templates from the available profile type. Now select the trusted certificate from the list of templates available. Begin by giving the configuration profile a name. Next, upload the root certificate file. This will be required to build the certification authority chain and ensure that any certificates issued to the devices is trusted. Next, ensure that the destination store is set as Computer Certificate Store root. Add a group containing the in-scope devices, or apply this configuration to all the devices by selecting Add All Devices. Finish creating this configuration. Now that we have completed provisioning the configuration for Trusted Root Certificate, repeat the steps for Intermediate Certification Authority that will be issuing certificates. Ensure that for this profile to set Destination Store to Computer Certificate Store Intermediate. As the final step, we will be provisioning the SCEP certificate profile. This profile will use the PKI Trust Cert API URL previously configured to request certificates and enroll devices. Provide a name for the SCEP profile used to provision user or device certificates to endpoints. Select the type of certificate that will be issued. This should be the same that has been configured on PKI Trust Manager. Provide a subject name that will be used for certificates that are issued. You may use the default settings here. The subject alternative name should be configured. In addition to email or host name, you will need to set URI to on-premises security identifier. This is required for strong certificate mapping. At the bottom of the configuration, the SCEP server URL should be as shown, where it begins with HTTPS and ends with /SCEP. Complete rest of the configuration as shown or as required by your organization. Certificate policy, including adding the previously provisioned root certificate profile. Congratulations! You have successfully enabled the SCEP for Intune service in the PKI Trust Manager by configuring the necessary certificate templates and settings, as well as configuring Intune to fully integrate with PKI Trust Manager. This completes the setup of integrating Intune and successfully issuing certificates to devices. If you require more information, please refer to the documentation or contact support.